What is up, you guys? This is Mini Superheroes Today. And today I'll be showing you how to build all of the characters from Back to the Future Part 2 using 100% official LEGO parts and pieces. Now this video is made possible thanks to the new Back to the Future DeLorean set, which includes the future versions of Marty and Doc. So without further ado, let's get into showing you how to build the customs, and if you like this style of video showing you how to build LEGO Purist customs, don't forget to hit like and subscribe down below. Okay, we'll start off with Doc Brown, since technically we see him in this outfit at the end of Back to the Future Part 1. What you're seeing here is the exact figure from the new DeLorean set. It's hard to upgrade, so I love these big glasses he has on the front, and I do like his face on the back. However, I do have to shout out that the original Doc Brown has a pretty amazing face as well, especially on the back side of the head. That face is just perfect. So if you want as much variation as possible for this character, I recommend going ahead and getting both. Here we have Marty's girlfriend, Jennifer Parker, and this custom is different than the one I did in my Back to the Future Part 1 showcase, which you should go check out if you haven't already, but that's actually pretty accurate to the movie because the actresses changed between movies. Not a lot of people know that at first glance, but anyways, it's a very cool custom. I actually like this one better than the Part 1. The legs I used are from the Keytar player from the LEGO Collectible Minifigure series. The torso and head come from Rachel from the LEGO Friends, the TV series Central Perk set. I did give her white arms with tan hands and some long brown hair to round everything out. Here we've got Marty in his 2015 disguise. Now there's a lot to talk about here. Of course, the legs and torso come from the Marty from the new DeLorean set. Both of those are going to be pretty darn difficult to beat as far as accuracy to the movie. The hair comes from the more recent versions of Han Solo from Star Wars. I love that swept back look, especially when you pair it with the original Marty McFly head from the LEGO Ideas DeLorean, as well as LEGO Dimensions. There was a Dimensions pack with Marty, and that head is just perfect for Michael J. Fox. Especially, check this out, if we flip it around, I love this scared face on the back. It's absolutely perfect. Now, as we move down, you'll see that he's got a hoverboard at minifig scale. This is a real piece as well. This came in that same LEGO Dimensions pack. It's really cool. You can see that it's got, like, I guess it's thick enough on the side is the way to word it, that he can hold the hoverboard, which is quite cool, or you can have him stand on it as we saw at the beginning of this video. Now, the only thing that you're looking at here that is not official LEGO is this sports almanac. Now, some Google searching tells me that a company named Crazy Brick made this a while back, but I've had it for so long that I honestly don't even remember where I got it. It's a custom printed piece. It's not even a real LEGO piece, but you open it up and there's the Ooh La La magazine inside. So this is really cool, and I don't think I've ever used it in a video before, and I really can't imagine ever using it in a video other than this. So after all these years of owning this piece, it finally makes a debut here on the channel. Here we have Griff Tannen, who's, of course, Biff's grandson. Definitely an essential character for this movie. So what I did is I used this gray skateboarder helmet to get that futuristic skateboarder look. It's not perfect to the film, but it's the closest we have in LEGO form as of this video. The head I used is from the Angry Stormtrooper or Angry Clone Trooper. I just think that that's a very good look for all the variations of Biff up to this point in the Back to the Future saga. Then the torso you can see is actually from the Cat Lady costume girl from the collectible minifig series. I just really like those stripes, and while it's not perfect, I think it's the closest we can get to this look as of this video. Then moving down, I just gave him black legs to bring it all together. Here we have Old Man Biff Tannen, and this is one of my favorite figures so far in the Back to the Future series we've done here. As I said, if you haven't checked out Part 1, be sure to go do that. Anyways, I gave him some swept back white hair. That's come in several places at this point. This face is the smirking face from Old Man Han Solo. That's just perfect if you ask me. The torso comes from Kevin McAllister from the LEGO Home Alone house set. I kind of hunched him over here and gave him a black walking cane, and the legs I used are from Lord Business, or President Business, from the LEGO Movie 2 collectible minifigure series. Those just look like perfect Old Man Biff legs, don't you agree? Up next, we have Marty Mcfly Jr., Marty's kind of nervous son, and of course, we're going to use the same legs and torso as the actual DeLorean minifigure, because that's what Marty Jr. wears. The head is the nervous side of the Marty McFly head we already talked about earlier in this video, and I gave him this teal hat to bring it all together. I really don't know that there's a perfect hat, since that hat kind of changes shades between blues and greens and pinks in the movie, depending on how light hits it, but I thought that this did a pretty good job of representing that look. Alright, so here we'll take a look at the older McFlys, and this, of course, is the older Lorraine and George. Now, as we know, George has his back being worked on since he got it thrown out, so he's got to be upside down, but we'll take a look at him in just a moment. To build Lorraine, I used dark red legs on the torso from Bilbo Baggins with Aunt May's head and this kind of tousled white hair. I actually don't quite recall where that came from. I think it's from Lego City, if I'm not mistaken, but if somebody wants to drop a comment and fill us in, be sure to do that. Anyways, for older George here, we've got some brown legs with Ernie's torso from Lego Sesame Street. We've got the head from Ghostbusters Ray Stantz, or from the Lego Marvel S.H.I.E.L.D. agent with some pushed back white hair. That's come in some different places as well. And how I built his little stand to make him hover, you could do this any way you want, but I used one of the jumper pieces from the Lego Collectible Minifigure series, just so that, you know, you could get a little angle there. I used two 1x1 studs with holes in them, a short white pole to go in that bottom stud, and then a 1x2 jumper. And if you're going to display your figures on studs, obviously that's a really good way to get him upside down for display purposes. Here we've got the grown adult versions of Marty and Jennifer from 2015, and to build these, I actually literally just used Chandler Bing from the Lego Friends Apartments sets. I'm sure that somebody could say like, oh, you know, use a different colored hair or something, but I honestly think that that looks pretty good for the older version of Marty. And then to build Jennifer, the biggest thing I did was using this scared face from Aunt May, because of course there's that scene where she runs into herself and she's got an expression just like this. I used this hair from Captain Marvel, but it's come in other places like Lego City and whatnot. The torso comes from one of the elves from the Christmas theme. Then, of course, we've got red arms with tan hands on there and some light khaki legs to bring it all together. Now we jump to the alternate 80s, and that brings us to Biff and his Donald Trump-esque kind of look. Anyways, the torso and legs are really good, but not quite perfect. So these are from the Lobster Lovin' Batman from the Lego Batman movie, but unfortunately they're not quite the same colors as what we see in Back to the Future Part 2, but honestly the design is close enough that I'm gonna say this is probably our best option. I gave him a revolver here. Once again, I used the angry clone trooper head to get that consistent look for Biff across both of our showcases so far, and the hair I used is from Fred from Lego Scooby-Doo. Now, of course, we could also build Lorraine from this scene, but her outfit is definitely not very Lego-friendly, and I'm not even sure how I could do an outfit like that, so if you have a comment, you could drop it down below and suggest it, but I'm just gonna move on because I literally don't even know how we could do that with official Lego parts and pieces. It's not exactly kid-friendly. And now that brings us to our final figure of this showcase. Now you may be asking, Jonathan, why aren't you going to show all the characters from the 50s? Well, that again is something that I think you should go back and check out my Back to the Future Part 1 showcase for, because I already built pretty much everybody from the 50s in that showcase. So no need to do it again, even though we do revisit a lot of those scenes. Just to keep things kind of linear, I'm just going to go ahead and show you how to build Marty here, and then we'll get geared up for Part 3 coming very soon. Anyways, I gave him some dark blue legs, the torso from Knight Rider from LEGO Dimensions, or from the Spider-Man Homecoming Bank Heist set. He's got a little black walkie-talkie here, the head from Agent Coulson to give you those sunglasses, but if you want to use the look without the sunglasses, just use the same Marty head we've been talking about before. And I gave him a black fedora, which has come in several places like Spider-Man Noir, the CMF Gangster, and so on. So with that being said, let's go ahead and round out this showcase, and I'll give you my final thoughts. Alright guys, well thanks for hanging out with me today. Let me know what you want to see next, and of course, Back to the Future Part 3 will be right around the corner. It's so cool we got this new DeLorean set that made these customs even more possible than ever before, and I'm really excited to share the Back to the Future fandom with you guys. So I'll catch you guys next time, and until next time, build on. Well, you've made it to the end of the video. You should hit like and subscribe down below for more LEGO content from me, because I post just about every single day. You'll be up to date on all the latest in LEGO, so why not join my community and hit subscribe now.